because of power cutoff in my area. So now, yeah. I go back to the slideshow. So what we are discussing about is a fit belt which I am wearing on my wrist, and all the parameters which are captured via that fit belt is sent to the doctor remotely, who is monitoring my health. And if there is some irregular condition, then definitely I'll give the notification on my mobile device. So I have a smart healthcare system. A very big buzzword is now a smart city, or a city at the palm of my hand. So what are the main features of a smart city? The main features are listed over here. There are around 20 such parameters. Like we have e-governance and citizen services, which can include like video crime monitoring, some public information which is placed at all points, then waste management, which is smart, water management system, energy management system, mobility related smartness like that of parking or intelligent traffic management, and others like telemedicine and teleeducation, the one which is going on right now, and some incubation and trade facilitation centers. These are the features which a smart city should have. Now, some examples of smart cities I have put over here, ranging from Missouri, like US, Canada, Singapore,
Ma'am,
Austria,
PPT is
Spain.
not visible.
PPT is not visible. Everyone else?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
No, ma'am.
ma'am.
Not visible.
Not
It is
visible,
not
not
visible.
visible, ma'am.
Okay, just one
No.
example. One minute. Sukruti?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. 1 second. Is it visible now?
Yes. Now it is visible.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So here what you see are the features of the smart city, or what we call as the city at the palm of our hand, right? So if I want to construct a smart city, these are the things which we need to have, like e-governance, waste management, water management, energy management, mobility related smartness, and others. Now, a few cities in the world which are really smart, which are already smart, are Kansas City in Missouri, San Diego in California. So all the cities which I have placed over here are all part of US or Austria, some in Europe, even Japan, Iceland. These are parts of Europe, Australia, even Dubai is a smart city, Hong Kong in China is a smart city. Here, there is no Indian city name. Do you observe that? Now, any city in India which has become smart?
No, ma'am.
Till now, no. But then the government is taking initiative in this direction, and a lot of cities are planning to become like smart in the next coming 2 to 3 years. So whatever we have seen, let's summarize again by the help of this small video, which I have kept for you.
By now, you may have heard the term Internet of Things. Sounds interesting, but what does the Internet of Things actually mean? IoT is an evolution of mobile, home, and embedded applications that are being connected to the internet, integrating greater compute capabilities and using data analytics to extract meaningful information. Billions of devices will be connected to the internet, and soon, hundreds of billions of devices. As related devices connect with each other, they can become an intelligent system of systems. And when these intelligent devices and systems of systems share data over the cloud and analyze it, they can transform our businesses, our lives, and our world in countless ways. Whether it's improving medical outcomes, creating better products faster with lower development costs, making shopping more enjoyable, or optimizing energy generation and consumption. Here's an example of the big picture. Imagine an intelligent device such as a smart traffic camera. The camera can monitor the road for congestion, accidents, and weather conditions, and communicate that status to a gateway that combines it with data from other cameras, creating an intelligent citywide traffic system. Now, imagine that intelligent traffic system connected to other citywide transportation systems, which get data from their own intelligent devices, creating an ever larger intelligent system of systems. The really big possibilities come from analyzing the end-to-end data across that system of systems. For example, let's say the city's intelligent traffic system detects massive congestion due to an accident. That insight can be sent to the citywide transportation system, which can analyze the accident's impact on other city systems. Recognizing the accident is near the airport and 2 city schools, it could notify those systems so they can adjust flight and school schedules. You can also analyze and derive optimal routes around the accident and send those instructions to the city's digital signage system to guide drivers around the accident. And that's just one example of the potential benefits that can happen when intelligent devices share insight with other systems, forming ever-expanding systems of systems. By now, you may have heard the
Okay. So this was an introduction to IoT. So regarding this, anything is there? Anyone want to ask anything? Like any queries, any doubts?
No, ma'am.
Anyone? The people who had joined after we started?
No, ma'am. No doubt.
Okay. So what is your takeaway from this small part? Like, how do you summarize this session? Saurabh?
Sam, once more, what do you say? Actually, it is not audible now.
I said, like, how do you summarize? Like, did you understand? What is your takeaway? मतलब आपको क्या समझा? Summary में मतलब एक दो point आपको क्या लगा? What you can take from this session?
मैम कि यही कि हम लोग अगर इस IoT के ऊपर अगर बेसिक नॉलेज हो तो अगर हम लोग जैसे कि इंजीनियर बनने के बाद इसको हम अपने डेली लाइफ में भी इम्प्लीमेंट कर सकते हैं और मतलब कुछ भी कंपनी में जैसे कि अगर हम लोग को चांस मिले, अपॉर्चुनिटी मिले तो हम लोग इसी IoT को डेवलप करके खुद के आइडिया लगा के हम लोग कुछ ना कुछ इन्वेंट भी कर सकते हैं। तो यही मैम इससे मतलब एक इंस्पिरेशन मिला कि हाँ कि इस बेसिक नॉलेज होने से उसके मतलब बेसिक नॉलेज के बाद हम लोग कुछ कर सकते हैं आगे बढ़ के।
ओके, कोई और कुछ बोलना चाहेंगे? दीपंकर, अविनाश, सुविक्रम?
About the benefits and advantages and disadvantages we got to know, ma'am.
ओके ओके
मैम कैसे हम एक मतलब एक लिंक कर सकते हैं मतलब एक चीज से दूसरी चीज को विद द हेल्प ऑफ IoT फिर
ओके ओके ठीक है, तो एटलीस्ट आप लोगों ने सुना, मुझे ये पता चला। ओके सुकृति मैम, हाउ मच टाइम डू आई हैव मोर? I can't hear you.
मैम म्यूट कर दिया।
Yeah, Sukriti, I can't hear you.
Oh, sorry. Half an hour is there. It's 11:30, but we started late,
Okay.
so we can extend till 12:15. So 45 minutes are there, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Okay. So this was the first part of today's morning session in which we have seen what is a IoT network. Now, we go ahead with the second part of our session in which we'll give you an introduction to a software which we call as Tinkercad. The software is called as Tinkercad, which we'll use to simulate our circuits. Okay, so how to use that? So let me again share my screen with you so that I can give you an idea of the same. Okay, so now can you see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
So yeah, now that Tinkercad software you can access from any browser. Like any browser, when I say it means Chrome या Firefox या Mozilla या आपके पास जो भी Internet Explorer या Safari, मेरे पास Safari है. This is my browser. To go to any browser And then you can just type Tinkercad, right? Can you see Tinkercad? I have typed Tinkercad.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You can
Yes,
even
ma'am.
type it in Google also. You can also Google it. It's all the same. So when you type Tinkercad and press enter, what comes over here, because I'm already a registered user, so my home screen is coming here. All right. My home screen is coming, in which my profile is shown on the left hand side, and see, this is my profile. But since you people are not already user, then what you might be having, I'll show you what you might be having. I'll open one more tab for Tinkercad. And
Students,
then,
note down all these steps in your notebook so
yeah,
that once session is
yeah,
over, you can try.
yeah.
Note down all the steps.
So what I'll do is I'll log out. Okay. So when you type tinkercad.com and press enter, or you put Tinkercad in Google search and press enter, what you're going to see is this screen. Okay. Since you people are new user, you have to click on join now. So when you click on join now, you'll see some options like educators start here, students join a class, or on your own, create a personal account. So we are going to create a personal account for us. So click on this. So when you click on create a personal account, you see again there are three options. You can either sign up with email, or if you have a Gmail account, you can sign in with Google. And then, or else if you're a Macintosh or Apple user, you can sign in with Apple also. So I have a Gmail account, so I had clicked on sign in with Google. Okay. So when you click on this, sign with Google, see, I am already a registered user, so my screen is opening up. But if you people are not registered, then what you will be asked is to your country and your date of birth. You will be asked that. So your country, you can, yeah, you have to mention your country, but date of birth, you have to be, you have to put in such a manner that you should look like above 18. Put that. And then you will be asked to enter your password. So after that, you get registered. So are the steps clear to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
First of all, you type, again, I repeat the steps. In any browser, you can type tinkercad.com, or you can even enter Tinkercad in Google. Since you people are a new user, you have to join in. Join in creating a personal account. In personal account, you have to enter your country and your date of birth. After that, you will be asked to enter your password. So next time when you log into Tinkercad, you will be using your user email ID and the password which you have entered. And then you will get this dashboard. Then you will get this dashboard in which your name will be there on the left hand side, along with these tabs in which there are 3D designs, there are circuits, there are code blocks and lessons. For our particular workshop, we'll be using this circuits part. Okay. Now, since you people are in mechanical, so let me add over here. In 3D designs, you can get a 3D view of the circuits or your projects which you are building up. This will be very useful for mechanical students. But for our IoT workshop, we'll go to circuits only. Now, when you click on circuits, this is showing the circuits which are already existing, which already I have built. Okay, these are my old circuits, right? For today, what I can do is I'll create on new circuit. Since I have already built circuits, these are showing over here. If you are a new user, this space will be empty for you. So you can click on create new circuit only. So you'll press on click new circuit. So when you click on new circuit, what will open up for you is this workspace. This is what we call as workspace. Now on the right hand side, a lot of components are shown. These are the components which are going to use in building our circuits. Okay. Now the components we can see over here, these are basic components. I can search for more components using all. So if I click on all, the entire list of components will be shown over here. The entire list of components is shown on the right hand side. I can drag and drop any component that I want. For example, so let me take this LED. I am dragging it and dropping it in my workspace. Now, a very useful feature of this is I can modify the components by just clicking on them. When I click on them, the description comes over here. In the description, the features which are modifiable comes with this drop down menu. So this is a red LED. I can change its color to blue or whatever I want as per my requirement. Okay. Now once it is done, I can bring in the second component which I require. So let me bring in a battery for glowing this LED. See, here I know where is the battery. If I don't know, let us say, then even I can search for it. I can type a battery over here. So all the batteries which are there in the component list will be available for me. So let me bring this 9-volt battery. Right? Now, I don't want the battery to be positioned horizontally. I want to change its orientation. For changing the orientation, can you see there is a small button on the left hand side? This is for rotating the component. So you have clicked on the component and then you can rotate it. Rotate it so that you can have the orientation that you desire. So I have positioned my LED on top of this battery, right? Now I want to connect these two devices. For connection of these two devices, again, a very useful feature of this software is that I don't need to remember which are the terminals of the LED. Whenever I take my mouse over here, it will automatically show the name of the terminal. So for example, here, what do you see? It is written as anode or the positive terminal. When I click on the second terminal, it comes as cathode. So I can connect the cathode with the negative or the positive of the battery.
Negative of the battery.
Yeah, the cathode should be connected to the negative of the battery. So I have made the connection. How do I make the connection? I just take the mouse over here, click it, then I drag it and click it again. So the connection is established. Now, what you see over here, there is a wire whose color is green. As it is a negative terminal, I can change the color. I want it to be black for showing the negative connection, right? Next, for the positive terminal or the anode, I again click at this point, then drag my mouse to the positive of the battery and click it again so that the connection is established. Because it is the positive connection, I'll color it as red. So my connections are done, right? Correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So once my connections are
Yes,
done,
ma'am.
then what we'll do is, I want to see how it behaves once we switch it on. For that, we click a button over here, which is called as Start Simulation. Can you see this? So when you click on Start Simulation, what happened? My LED bursted. That means my LED got damaged. Why this happened?
No resistance.
No resistance, because the voltage was
Because
too high. Voltage was
because
too
the
high for this
LED.
LED. Yes, yes, yes. Someone was saying.
No, ma'am, because the LED is requiring about 3 to 5 volts. We are giving 9
Yeah.
volts. That's why it is getting damaged.
Correct. Okay. So it got damaged. So what I can do is I'll remove this 9-volt battery and put a smaller one. So, okay. So for removing any component, I click on that component and I click on the delete button. Can you see the delete button over here? So I click on delete. So that component is gone. I bring in a new battery. Can you see on the right hand side component, there is a 1.5 volt battery, right? So I bring in 1.5 volt battery, and yeah, the positive terminal I have to connect to anode, color it red, and the negative terminal I have to connect to the cathode and color it as black. Done. Connections are done. Once the connection is done, I can start simulation. So now can you see the LED glowing?
No, ma'am.
I'm-
Less power.
It is
No.
just, it is barely glowing. It is very, very dim. Why? Because this voltage was insufficient.
Voltage is very
low.
Voltage is very low. So I again stop simulation. Whenever I want to make any changes to the circuit, I have to stop the simulation. Okay. Now this battery, there was only a single battery. You can see the count is 1. I can change it. I can increase it to 2, 3 or 4 batteries. Let us say I'm connecting 3 batteries. So these 3 batteries actually will be placed in series. 1.5 plus minus, 2 minus plus 1.5, again to plus minus 1.5. So altogether these 3 batteries in series will give me how many volts? Series connection of
4.5.
4.5. Right, very good, very good. So now I have 4.5 volt connected to this LED. So let me see what happens if we start the simulation. Oh. From 9 volt, we have stepped down to 4.5. Still the LED is bursting. Okay, I stop the simulation. Maybe I lower the voltage to 2 batteries, right?
Yes.
So what do you think? What will happen now if I start the simulation? I have only 3 volt with me.
It will glow, ma'am.
It will
not
glow?
burst.
It will not burst. Okay, let us start the simulation part. Oh, still it's bursting. What happened now? With 3 volt also it is bursting.
We have to provide resistor.
We have to provide resistor. Okay, so now let me get the resistor. I exited my search, and from the list of components, let me get the resistor. So whenever I get a resistor, by default, the value which comes is 1 kilo ohms by default. Okay. By using this up and down arrow, I can increase or decrease the resistance values. So from kilo ohm, I can go to ohm or milliohms, microohms, nanoohms, picoohms to the lower values, or can go from kilo ohms to mega or giga ohms. Okay. This gives me the range of resistance, and here I can type in any value that I want. The default value is always 1 kilo ohms. Okay. So now I have brought the resistor, 1 kilo ohm resistor. Where do I connect it? At the negative side or at the positive side? Where do I connect it? Yes. Positive side. Okay. So I remove this connection. I just delete this wire and connect the positive to the one terminal of the resistor. And the second terminal of the resistor, I can connect it to the positive of the battery. Resistor is a bipolar device, so its orientation does not matter. I can connect it anyhow. Okay, so my connection is done. So if I start simulating now, what will happen?
It will glow.
It will glow. Okay, it is glowing, but the brightness is really less. It is very dim.
Very less. Yes, ma'am.
Due to
Very less.
resistance.
Due to resistance. So what should be my proper resistance value in this case?
220
How do I find out?
practically, ma'am.
Yeah, how do I find out mathematically? How do I find it out mathematically? I stop the simulation. Let me say, even if I use like 3 batteries in series with the same components, remaining components are same, and I start the simulation, still the LED brightness is really, really dim. I've increased the voltage, but still the LED brightness is dim. The main reason is the resistance value, which you have not considered while connecting to this circuit. So for this, we need to consider a calculation. Can you see my slide?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So here,
No, ma'am.
what was, yeah? Sukriti ma'am, is the slide visible?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, yeah. So here, we had
No.
connected 3.
You are trying to show your slides, na? Slides are not visible.
Okay, okay. I'll take a new share. And
Yes, correct.
yeah. Now is it visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So here, my battery voltage, we had taken 3 1.5 volt batteries, right? So the net battery voltage or the supply voltage was 4.5 volt. Correct? Now the LED forward voltage is 2 volt. For all LEDs, we are going to take up in this software simulation, the LED voltage we'll have to consider it as 2 volt and its current is 20 milliamps. So the resistance which we needed to connect was supply voltage Vs minus the LED voltage V, Vs minus V divided by 20 milliamps. This is my Ohm's law. So if you put these values, what do you get R as? Quickly. Ohm's law, I think you people all have done in your basic
Yes,
electronics subject. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
So what should be R in this case?
I'm 1/8.
1/8. When you convert, what will be the unit of 1/8? Ohms, right? So when you convert
Yes,
it into, or this is volt divided by milliamps. This is volt divided by milliamps. So you are getting it as 1/8 kilo ohms,
yes, ma'am.
right? So when you convert
Yes,
it into ohms, what you get? It will be 1000/8 ohms. 1000/8 will give you approximately how many ohms?
125.
125 ohms. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. 125.
Yeah. So your resistance value should be actually 125 ohms. In place of 125 ohms, how much you had placed is 1 kilo ohms, right? So that is why the LED was glowing very dimly. Yeah. So again, I stop sharing this and I share with you my Tinkercad dashboard. Okay. This was our circuit in which we had taken. Can you see this Tinkercad dashboard?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So we had taken this 1 kilo ohm resistor. I delete this component. Okay. I can even, I should not have deleted. I should have kept it, only change the value of the resistance. In place of 1 kilo ohm, I should have taken 125 kilo ohm resistor, right? And I should have reinstated these connections. Okay, so this is my circuit with a modified resistor. Now let us see what happens when we start simulating it. Now the LED is glowing with proper brightness. It is glowing properly, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so by using Ohm's law, we have finalized on the resistance which needs to be connected in this LED circuit. Okay, I stop simulating the same. Now, one important thing which you need to remember is whichever circuit you need to save, by default, Tinkercad has assigned some name to it. This name will come, some name. This has come as Magnificent, some Esguladi, some arbitrary name comes. This is again a feature of Tinkercad software. So you click on it and you give any name to it that you want. Like let me give it as LED1. And when you click on your workspace again, you see that this circuit is getting converted into the name which you have assigned to it, right? So this way you can save your circuits, right? Again, on the left hand corner, can you see this multicolored Tinkercad? This is where you click on, yeah, this is where you click on to go back to your home screen or to your dashboard. So when you have gone to your dashboard or your home screen, you see that you have your LED circuit, which you have built just now, right? A minute ago. This is my LED1 circuit. So this circuit is now saved, correct? Now, you can create new circuit or even you can modify the existing ones. So whenever you take your mouse to any one of the pre-existing circuits, can you see on the corner, tinker this comes?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. When you get some tinker this, it means that you can modify or tinker the existing circuit or change the existing circuit. So if I click on tinker this, it will again open this circuit in the workspace so that you can bring in any modification that you want. Till now, whatever I have said, are the steps easy to understand and clear to us?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Also, I can change the size of the circuit, like from viewpoint. देखने के लिए छोटा बड़ा करने के लिए I'm just clicking on my mouse pad. Okay, just to make it small or large. So now I had a single LED. If I need to connect 3 LEDs in series circuit I'm making. So I'm taking one LED red. Yeah, I'll take a second LED. And now I want LED color to be, let us say, blue. And I take a third LED and I'll color it as, let us say, green, RGB. Okay. I want a series connection of these 3 LEDs. And let us say I am taking this 9-volt battery again. So if I have to connect this 3 LED in series with this 9-volt, how do I connect? The anode of one LED should be connected to the cathode of the next. Similarly, the anode of this middle LED to the cathode of the next. Now, how do I connect the remaining anode and cathodes which are remaining?
Power source.
Anode to positive, cathode
Will
to
be
negative.
connected to the power source.
Okay. So anode directly to positive, or do I need to connect some resistor in between?
The resistor, man.
Resistor is there.
Yes, ma'am.
Why do I need the resistor? Why do I need the resistor?
All the 3 LEDs will be damaged.
Now, the 3 LEDs have been connected in series and I can connect it to the battery right now. But then there is a chance that...
But, ma'am, since 3 LEDs are connected, each LED is having some resistance. But since we are using a 9-volt battery, the resistance is not enough, so that all the 3 LEDs will be busted. we have to connect resistance, no, man.
Yeah, we have to connect the resistance so as to limit the amount of current which is flowing through the LED. That is why we call this resistance, which was there in our LED1 circuit also. We call this as the current limiting resistor. It limited the current flowing through this LED to 20 milliampere, which is the permissible current. 20 milliampere current ही जाना चाहिए LED के through, नहीं तो वो damage हो जाता है. That is why this resistor we call it as current limiting resistor. Okay. Now in this case, okay, negative terminal I connect to cathode. This is one way of connection in which I have directly connected. Some designers are literally particular about the way the circuit looks. So what they do is, यहाँ से mouse click करते हैं, they take straight, leave the mouse a while, and again from here they take to the cathode. वापस click करते हैं and color it in black so that the look and feel of the circuit improves. और कुछ purpose नहीं है उसका. Do you understand? They take from here to here via one click, फिर छोड़ देते हैं, फिर वापस click करके वहाँ पे जाके छोड़ देते हैं. So that is how the circuit will look better. No other reason. Now the positive terminal has to go to the resistor, current limiting resistor. I can change the orientation of the resistor, and the anode should be connected to one terminal of the resistor. Again, to make it look good, I can do this, I can adopt this strategy. Color it as red. And this part, I have to connect to the anode and color it again as red. Done. Now, can you tell me what should be the value of this resistor so that the LEDs will glow properly, not dim? Again, should I apply the Ohm's law?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, right? So if I apply
Yes,
Ohm's law, my Ohm's law said my resistance value is the battery voltage minus the voltage across the LED divided by the current through the LED, that is 20 milliampere. Now remember, this is a series connection of 3 LEDs. In series, voltage gets added up and current remains same.
150 ohm.
Pardon?
150 maybe.
150 ohm. How did you come to this 150 value?
Ma'am, I have taken the current as that same 20 milliampere.
Okay. And what about the
Then,
voltage?
9 volt minus, as the LED I have connected in the series, so VS is the 2 plus 2 plus 2 6 and 9 minus 6 3, then 3 by 20.
Very good. Very, very good. Who is this? May I know?
Devashish.
Yeah, Devashish, absolutely correct. So your supply voltage is 9.
Yes, ma'am.
Your LED voltage, since they are connected in series, we have to add them up. So 2 plus 2 plus 2 is 6 volt.
Yes,
and current remains same in this series circuit. Current is 20 milliamps. So 9 minus 6 divided by 20 milliamps gives us 150 ohms. Okay, so I change the resistor value. I make it as 150 ohms, right? And start simulation. Focus on this one. So all the LEDs are glowing properly. Can you see that?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So I stop simulating this particular circuit, and let me introduce you to one more new circuit. So I'll go back to my dashboard and I'll create a new circuit. So can you see for the new circuit, a different name has come automatically assigned by Tinkercad, Shiny, some Rutica, some arbitrary 9 counts like that. Okay. Now in this new circuit, what I want is I want you to be introduced to a breadboard. So here you can see that there is a breadboard. Now, are you aware of how these breadboard connections are done?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Okay. So brief revision. Here, this A, B, C, D, E are connected vertically. So all these points are shorted internally. Similarly, all the different columns, all these vertical columns are shorted over here. Similarly, for F, G, H, I, J, all these columns are shorted vertically. At the two extreme ends, we see that there is a plus sign and a minus sign indicating the positive and negative terminals of the battery to be connected here, which is shorted horizontally. So in between there is vertical shorting here and here, and at the extreme ends we have horizontal shorting. But remember, there is no interconnection between this side of the breadboard to this side of the breadboard. So ABCDE is isolated from FGHIJ. Okay, so this is your basic breadboard. Now, if I want to connect the LEDs to it, how do I take? I'll take a LED. Remember, whenever you connect components in a breadboard, you should take care that its terminals do not get shorted. So I have placed the anode and cathode to two different columns so that they are not shorted to each other, right? Again, I take my battery, the battery which I have used. We had used 3 batteries, so I connected 3 batteries. For the single LED, if I connect 3 batteries, what is the value of resistance that I need to use to limit my current? 125. Now can I, 125 ohms, very good. Now can I connect the resistor like this?
No, ma'am.
No, why? Because the two terminals are actually shorted to each other, right? Yeah. So I change the orientation, I rotate it, okay? And the LED, I connect to the anode of the resistor, I connect to the anode of the LED, correct? Now, battery, positive, where it should go? Battery positive. Let us say I am putting over here the positive side of the breadboard. And the negative terminal of the battery, I am connecting here and coloring it black. And if I'm very particular, I can even straighten my crooked lines. Okay. So what remains in the connection? The cathode has to be connected where? The cathode has to be connected to the ground terminal or the negative terminal. So from here, I have taken one connection out and then connected it to the negative or the ground line. So these wires symbolize the connection for ground terminal, and the other end of the resistance, which was actually connected to the anode, that should be connected to the positive of the battery. So that is symbolized by the red wire. So are the connections clear to us?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah. So I have to modify the resistor value to 125 ohms. Okay. And if I start simulation, the LED is glowing properly. Okay. So the same circuit I have built using breadboard, right? So I stop simulating. Let me rename this circuit as LED to and click anywhere on the workspace. So my circuit has been renamed as LED2. Okay. I go to my dashboard so that I can create a new circuit. Okay. Now for creating the new circuit, what I don't want series connection of LEDs. Series connection of LEDs I have seen. I want now parallel connection of, let us say, 4 LEDs. Okay. So I will stop the screen share of this here, and again I'll go back to my PPT. Can you see now? Can you see the parallel LED circuit?
No, again you have to do screen
No,
share,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Again I have to,
No,
yeah,
ma'am.
I'll do the screen share again. Now is it visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes.
So what I want to build a circuit using the same 9-volt battery in which there will be 4 LEDs. The 4 LEDs now will be connected in parallel, not in series. So how I have made the connection, the anodes of all the LEDs are connected to 470 ohm resistors. So there are 470 ohm resistors connected to the 4 anodes, and to the cathodes, they are shorted and connected to the negative terminal of the battery. This is the connection. And the positive terminal goes to the other end of the resistors, all these resistors. So these 4 LEDs are connected in parallel. How do I design this circuit? Take down the circuit, all of you. You have some writing material with you? Some notebook or pen, pencil maybe?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, please draw the circuit.
Okay, by that time, who is Devrapalli Jayant, I guess. Unmute yourself, Devrapalli. Devrapalli Jayant.
Yes.
Have you registered for this IoT workshop?
No, ma'am, I'm not registered.
So you want to
By
register?
the time is over.
Okay, you want
Yes,
to
ma'am.
register? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Right now you
I want to register,
continue.
ma'am.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay.
Right now you continue, but you need to give me your contact number so that I can add you in the WhatsApp group. Okay. So
Okay, ma'am.
from one of your friends who are present here, they are already there on the WhatsApp group. So through them, just send me your contact number and then I will add you in the
Okay,
WhatsApp
ma'am.
group. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
After this session, first now complete this session. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.